Welcome to another Telltale Books video. I'm Greg, and I'm continuing my series on H.G. Wells, trying to cover everything I can get my hands on by H.G. Wells. And well, I've already read a lot of it, but I did that before I even started Telltale, so I'm going back and covering all that stuff I've already read, going all the way back to the beginning, particularly in this book, The Early Writings of H.G. Wells. The particular article I have this time from Early Writings of H.G. Wells, as I said in the last one, if you go back and watch that, or if you did already watch it, you'll find out I'm skipping number 9, the textbook of biology, because it's a textbook, and number 10, honors physiography. Not really what I want to read, and I can't get a hold of them anyway, so I have to skip them. And I'm going on to the next article in Early Writings of H.G. Wells, which is on extinction. This is a nonfiction article. It was published in Chambers Journal on September 30th, 1893. And like I say, this is best place to find it if you can find a copy of this book. There may be sources online where you can find on extinction. Should be public domain. Search around if you're interested, but it's a very little article, an extremely short article. It's like 3 pages. And you need to understand, evolution was kind of new. The kind of biological ideas that Wells was learning in college at this time, working with people like T.H. Huxley, learning evolution and learning biology. The average person in the public was not schooled in these things. Today we know about these things. Today we know all about extinct species. But in 1893, I think this was a little bit of a new concept. A lot of paleontologists were discovering dinosaur bones and learning what they were and classifying them. And we were learning how to date when these bones got buried through geological evidence and through carbon dating. I don't know exactly when that got started, if that was going yet in 1893 or if that came later. But, we had techniques for figuring out about how old these things were. And we were seeing that there were a lot of animals that used to roam the earth that no longer roam the earth. And so this idea of the extinction of a species, scientists started to become very much aware of. So Wells wrote this article to talk to the public about the basic ideas of extinction, the fact that there are all these dinosaurs that are now extinct, and that there were animals at that time in 1893 that were in danger of becoming extinct. The American buffalo was very close to extinction. It was being hunted very close to extinction. We did save the buffalo, but they were very close to gone before we started preserving them, doing things to stop the massacre of the American buffalo. And so we did turn that one around, and we have turned that around for a lot of other species, and we found species that we thought were extinct but actually weren't, like certain fish. Wells wrote this article kind of talking about that and kind of winding the article up, talking about the possibility of human extinction. This was a new idea in 1893, the idea that human beings could become extinct, or that human beings as we know them could become extinct, which was central to the time machine. So this little article, once again, brings up an issue which would have an impact on his thinking when he was writing The Time Machine. A lot of these little articles in here do relate back to that book. And that's why I wanted to discuss these, because they are relevant. They're relevant to the development of H.G. Wells. They're relevant to the development of his first major book, The Time Machine. Today's perspective on extinction, we have saved a lot of species, but there are still a lot of dangers especially with the climate changes going on right now. There's a lot of dangers of the climate changing to a point where a lot of species can't survive. We're seeing honeybees being endangered. So we have a little different perspective on things than Wells had in 1893. It's all the more important to our thinking today. It's become a much more major topic for us today. In 1893, Wells probably had an audience that wasn't all that knowledgeable about this. So reading the article, it's kind of like, yeah, this is all common sense. We know this. There's nothing brilliant here. But remember, it was being published in 1893, and the average person at that time probably didn't know this stuff, and it was probably new. So a very interesting article, very short article, very good article, one which illuminates the path towards the time machine. And the next one will be the Man of the Year Million, which has an even greater relevance to the time machine. So please come on back and join me for that one. Leave your comments. Have you read on Extinction? What do you got to say about it? Do you have anything to say about H.G. Wells? Leave them in the comments section. I do want to have public, open conversations about these stories, articles, and authors that I talk about. I want to hear from you. I want to hear your thoughts. What do you think about the whole subject that Wells is talking about here? Put it in the comments. Even if you have a radical attitude that we should just let them all go extinct. Talk about it. Give your reasoning behind that. It'll be interesting to hear. Just don't keep telling me that I need better sound or better lighting or better camera, or I need to format my videos differently. That's my problem, not yours. You shouldn't be concerned about that. But I'll be here doing these.